want to welcome you to our first ever Timber Ridge Outfitters podcast. We're here today with Gunner Micheli, a Marine Corps veteran, and has done some tours over in Afghanistan, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about some of the stuff that he did, and he's going to ask us some questions too. We're going to kind of go back and forth. This one being our first, it's a kind of a learning experience for us, so bear with us a little bit, and we'll see how this goes, but We appreciate you tuning in. By the way, I'm John Albritton. I am one of the owners here and co-host Johnny Moore, and we can hopefully we can have fun with this and make it a good time for you guys.
100%. Hey, I know this is a little unorthodox, but like, how did Timber Ridge get started?
Well, so it started out of just a desire to do more, right? So when I'd been doing something with another company for a while and wanted to expand and wanted to do more with it. Things like what we're doing now, the podcast has part to do with that. Just expansion and having more stores, having more opportunities, and that was the biggest thing, being able to grow. So as much as I appreciate what we've done, what we accomplished with the other, it was time to move on and do more.
Yep.
And so that's where we got the opportunity with a shop in Lufkin. And I was able to, to get with Johnny and form a great partnership to where we can do a lot in the future. So we're just getting started. We opened up the actual store there in Lufkin on South John Reddit over there. It's on the loop, on the West Loop in Lufkin. We opened it up the last week of October and have done extremely well. I feel super blessed and fortunate for what we've done there. The community's been great, and our community here in Nacogdoches has supported us well too. And by the way, guys, speaking of Nacogdoches, I wanted to let you know where we're coming from. Here is the beautiful Nacogdoches Cigar Company. We are in their members lounge in the back, and as you can see, it's a great opportunity. It's a great place for us to set up and work from. So we want to thank them for letting us set up and shoot today.
No, this place is badass. So, Johnny, how did y'all's relationship get going?
So, years ago, I had an FFL and I did firearms on the side just as a hobby type deal. I've been knowing John I believe I even met him back in the pawn shop back in the days whenever he was working there. But been working with John a lot, buying guns from him a lot out at his former company. And just, I had a passion to get back into it, would like to, and saw the opportunity when I heard that he wanted to do more. And I said, man, I'd love to be able to partner with you and help that develop. So that's kind of how we got started. And he was like, man, yeah, let's do it. Like you said, like this type of stuff, potentially opening more stores, getting the website going, being able to expand our offerings, that sort of stuff is what I'm excited about.
So was never at the pawn shop when y'all was doing work there. What pawn shop did you work at?
So I worked for a number of years at a pawn shop called Instacash Pawn.
Oh, I got you.
So,
okay.
I have a great relationship with them and feel good about those people. It was just one of those things that I knew that I wanted more. There was only so far that I could go there. And so it was taking a leap of faith and trying something new. And so we started our company back in 2015 and grew from there. So
I got you. So, Johnny, but you sold guns before, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did back in around 2007, 2008. For about 6 years, I did. Just locals here, friends and families. It was exciting. It was fun. We had a great time with it. And
I remember Sean was always getting a gun from you, and Howdy and Chance and everybody was.
So that was kind of how, as kids, me and Sean, like you mentioned, Sean, me and him started reloading when we were like 14 years old and about blowed each other up several times and blew up shotguns and shells. And so we just always, me and him joked about having a firearms company back in the days, call it M&M.
M&M?
Moore and
I got
Murray
you.
and Moore.
Yeah, I got you.
But anyway, that was when we were 7th grade type stuff. But
I went to the shop the other day. That place is pretty impressive. I mean, just the way you have it set up, it's like not all the guns are like behind like a counter where you can't touch them and stuff like that. They're actually really accessible, and that's pretty neat. I haven't seen that in a gun shop yet.
Well, and the whole thought process was something different, right? I didn't want it to be the typical gun shop. I wanted something more. I didn't want it to be like big box stores. I wanted something where it's more accessible and customer friendly. Mm-hmm. Learned a long time ago from past lives, I guess, about trying to stay what I would call customer focused, and you want to take care of that customer when they come in, because that's the sole purpose of our business, right? And the service along with the sale means a lot. But I want the customer to be able to walk in and be comfortable, and I want them to be able to walk right up to the guns, or to the firearms, to whatever, and be able to get a better feel for it, get a better understanding of it. So it was a little bit trial and error of how it came about. I have another friend who owns a shop, and they've done some things that were a little different, and I liked it, but I said, what can we do more? What can we do better? What can we do more? And we looked at some of the places that you might see in some of the bigger towns, more metro areas, and look at some of the ways that they were doing some things. And I was like, I like that, but, and then we started looking at some of the expenses.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, that's awesome. That would look great, but wow, that's a lot. So, so we kind of made it our own a little bit. And then just by accident, if you've been in the store, and anyone who's been there will know that they can walk right up to the wall. We have guns just locked onto the wall. And I did that by accident, more or less. We were going to have them all behind the glass. And after finding out some of our limitations with the glass and the costs and stuff involved, I said, well, why won't this work? And that's where we partnered with the company where we got the gun locks and stuff from, and it worked. With the slat wall board, being able to lock them on there, they're secure, they can't be taken off, but yet a customer can walk right up to it. If you want to feel that grip, you can feel the grip. If you want to see that, it gives you a better conception of the size and what you're doing with it. So
yeah, I've never seen that before.
Just a little different look. The other thing that we've done that I'm sure you noticed was, like, all of our scopes. Most of all of our scopes are on stocks, so you can be able to pick those up and see through them and get a good view. Not just holding it up and testing it out. We wanted to give a customer an experience that they wouldn't get in other places. So that was the thought process behind it.
And so y'all's dynamic as partners, kind of how's that working? Like, are y'all kind of like rotating through the shop, like who's working and stuff, or is it kind of like one's marketing, one's doing other things?
Yes and no. I mean, Johnny's been awesome as far as I'm at the store every day. I'm there pretty much 6 days a week. We are closed on Sunday, so gives me a little bit of reprieve. But that was part of it. I knew that going into it. That was where what I'm doing. I also knew going into it that he'll be there for me when I need it, but he can't be there every day.
And no one's got the network he's got.
Yeah, he's got plenty of stuff to do. So, and I completely understand that and respect that. And I try not to bother him with things. I like to run stuff by him all the time. I'll get with him on different things and run it by him, and I want to keep him informed on everything going on. But he's very involved when it comes to important stuff and decisions and things, but it's been awesome.
That's the reason I brought that up, is because you have to have that business savvy individual, or nothing's going to, it's hard to succeed, because then you're learning everything through like trial and error.
Yeah,
that eliminates a lot right there.
I mean, trust me, I'm just the grunt that I'm just going to show up and work, so he can help keep me pointed in the right direction.
I wouldn't say it like that. I would say it that everybody has their strong points, and this business wouldn't succeed without him. And I'm not saying it wouldn't succeed without me, but it would need some help as well, because he can't do it all and I can't do it all. So it's like a marriage dang near. You got to have two people looking at both sides of the coin, I guess.
100%, especially if you're wanting to expand.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're doing stuff in San Antonio, all over the state, and stuff like that. And I know you, so you're networking as far as you're going. So that's pretty neat.
Exactly.
That's pretty neat.
That's the other beautiful part of it. Whenever we first started talking about things, and what really appealed to me in a partnership with Johnny was the fact of there's real opportunity there, and other areas of not just the state or wherever we decide to go. And this whole project that we're doing with this awesome podcast and with being able to do other things online is going to help us get to where we want to be in opening more, whether it's opening more stores or wherever we go with it. So,
Especially in this realm in today's society. I mean, everything's online.
Yep.
You know, now you're having to attack everything from so many different
So
angles.
many different angles, that's for sure.
You know, and if you don't keep up with the new day society, you're gonna fail. So it's hard, especially when y'all are just a few days away from going to the nursing home. So, it's hard to keep up the young bucks.
a little bit of a struggle for us. That's why you're so.
Well, on that note, just tell everybody, because we're partnered with Gunner and his brothers on this deal as well. So you're changing the name, so I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so me and my brother, we're running a company called TVM. It was Podcast is a pro company that had active wear and casual wear apparel that's kind of stayed in the firefighter realm. But then we started doing more military podcasts like Paul Howe, George Gubler, and some other guys. And I hate to say this, but I relate more to the military stuff than I do the firefighter stuff. Just for one thing, I'm like not been in firefighting that long.
Yeah.
But the military stuff is really what interests me. You know, hearing stories and being able to talk back and forth on stories and stuff. And that community is something I enjoy talking about. But we started getting on social media. We're spending many nights, staying up till 4 a.m, learning algorithms, learning SEOs, learning different other social media marketing tools, and just to be able to grow our stuff. Then y'all made a Facebook post about that. Then not long after seeing that, Johnny calls me, and then here we are today.
Yep, exactly.
Well, and that's the thing is just, when it comes to the shop itself, we're a full service operation, and that's not something that you get anywhere. And that's fine for just our local area. But in today's world, yes, we can take care of everything for you at the shop, but it takes more. We've got to do more. We've got to branch out. We've got to be able to reach out across the country, even, wherever. Because Timber Ridge Outfitters isn't just about Timber Ridge Firearms. So Timber Ridge Firearms is our local shop there in Lufkin, where it is, like I said, a full service operation. We do both sales and service. So we're not like the big box store is going to tell you, hey, this is sales final. You've got to take it to the manufacturer if you have a problem.
Right.
I want you to bring it back to us. I want to be the one to take care of you. So we want to both take care of people on that aspect of it, sales and service. We also do silencers, custom work, so on and so forth. We're the only shop in Lufkin that, in that area that where you can come and do everything that you need.
Really?
Get your fingerprints, your picture. We'll set all your paperwork up, and we're a one-stop shop on that aspect.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything.
So what's the turnaround on silencers right now?
Well, silencers right now, unfortunately, you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 months. Even though we went to the E-forms, it's supposed to be better. It's still taking a while.
Really?
So now we'll say that for those individuals in law enforcement, you can get your silencers within a few days.
Really?
Right. So just for those of you who see that, we do have opportunities and ways that can help you get them. We're talking within a week or so. You can get your silencer. So keep that in mind for those individuals who may or may not use it for law enforcement. You can get them right away.
I got you.
So,
but go ahead.
Oh, I mean, that's just one of the small things. One of the things that we do to help bring a full service shop to the community.
And the products y'all carrying, man, I watched there. It was just like a plethora of different stuff. I mean, you have into your assault rifles, long range rifles, whatever, but also down to the coolers and just minuscule stuff that you wouldn't.
Wait,
see,
let's not get started too much on the coolers, because cooler thing's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you might notice, and we're branching out, we're going to expand our Timber Ridge Outfitters line, right? So when we talk, if we can spin off into that a little bit, the Timber Ridge Outfitters is a brand, right? And it's kind of almost even a state of mind, right? So what my thoughts were with Timber Ridge, it's relatable to just about anywhere in the country. In East Texas, the timber industry is big anyway, right? So it's something that means a lot to me. I've got relatives and family that's been in that industry for many years, and the Timber Ridge side of it can be related to different parts of the world, though. So that's why we followed through with it, and it can be something that as we brand and do other products, we're actually trying to put ourselves with the best products possible. If you saw our feeders, for instance, all aluminum, fully welded feeders and products. We've done feeders, whether it be stand and fill feeders, road feeders. We've done crawfish cookers and, lots of different things, and even more to come on that aspect. But, we're in talks right now with other companies like North American Rescue to come up with some different products. And there's some different things that we're going to put together, but we want to partner with some of the best people possible. If we're going to put it in our store and market it online or do something with it, we want to be able to stand behind, the best product possible.
Yeah, so going to North American Rescue, we carried in our IFACs, we carry a lot of their products.
The cat tourniquet's the top tourniquet across the world. I mean, it's an awesome piece.
They are. But as far as going into that, we've been talking about different influencers and stuff, bringing those people on, and I think that's a really good realm for y'all to get into. Because that's what's taken over the market. Collaborations with that and stuff on which we're working on. And I was talking to John about the Rebecca Allen out of Jacksboro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So me and Blaze is actually about to go meet with her to talk with it. And she did send me her address and stuff, so y'all send her some swag and stuff.
Gotcha.
But that's what it's going to take, It really is and stuff. But what else? The coolers, I guess you talked about that.
Coolers,
they're badass.
The coolers are cool, right? So we're kind of excited about that. We saw this kid, and Johnny tells the story better about the kid, but they're something completely different. They're not like a regular, what people would say. Now, it's a premium cooler. Mm-hmm. Price point wise, it's going to be up there with the others. But it's completely different. It's not like the others at all.
So what's the story with the kid?
Yeah, so when me and John went to the SHOT Show in Vegas in January, and walked along as you do there and run across these coolers. And there was a kid sitting there, a young guy, and obviously no offense, I didn't really pay much attention to him. I looked at the older guy, who was the sales and marketing guy, but not knowing that the young kid was the inventor and the owner of the business and started it and come up with the idea in high school, started working on the patent and started working through how thick he needed to make the coating on these coolers to make them light, but also perform like a Yeti. And that was his deal. He's like, I want it to be super light. You can handle it. You can drive across it. One super cool deal is you can load that sun gun up with anything you want, toss it in the water, and it always floats right side up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The lid's reversible. Got cup holders on one side, measuring tape on the other for your fish.
You can even use it for a cutting board. It comes off.
Yep.
So you can use it as cutting board. So for those of you guys that are kayakers or like to float down the river on tubes, there's nothing better. It's ideal. It's 100% the best thing on the market.
Yep, lifetime warranty. Just like, he stands behind them 100%. I was reading through his mission statement essentially as well, and he's really, he's not just a kid trying to sell a product. He's already thinking. He's younger than you, I think. 24. Really? I forget exactly, but he's
That's
already
impressive.
He's already got 10% of his profits goes to a foundation that goes to drilling wells in places that doesn't have water wells available. He's looking at sustainability in those neighborhoods, and he's thinking big boy thoughts already. Even
that's impressive. Where's he from?
Where's he from? I don't recall exactly.
Wow,
somewhere here in the States. That went.
It is.
But Rugged Road Coolers, you can look them up.
Is he from Texas?
Yep.
Really?
No, he's not in Texas.
Oh,
He's
not Texas. Okay.
But he is local to the States here. I don't remember exactly where it's from.
But Rugged Road, the name of the coolers, the company is called Rugged Road Coolers. And not only, they float, and he mentioned about them being lightweight. That's the coolest thing. If you really, you take that 65 can cooler, for instance, and you can hold it with one hand, no problem. Even their 85, it's not a problem just to hold up with one hand.
Super
and
light.
You can barely hold up the competition at all with both hands.
Yeah.
So especially once you load it, and so being able to, I would encourage everyone to check them out online. We are the exclusive dealer between us and. I don't want to call it our sister store. But, we have a
store here in
wife.
Nacogdoches. Yeah, my wife, Chic Boutique right here in Nacogdoches, just down the road here a minute. They also carry them here in Nacogdoches. So they carry them in Nacogdoches. We carry them in Lufkin for East Texas. There's not any other place you can get them here.
How many of y'all sold? Y'all sold a pretty good amount of them?
We've sold a few. Yeah.
We just got them in a couple weeks ago.
Really?
But exactly, we just got them.
People don't even
and
know
it's
about
a point
them
of getting and people don't know about them. We're going to do some testing on them. We want to be able to show some people.
Yep.
That's some stuff. We'll take it out to the lake and we want to kind of show it off a little bit, show what it can do. Because unless you really are around it, see, feel, and touch it, it's hard to understand and imagine.
Yep.
It's an awesome product, and again, it's something that we wanted to. So I don't want to say surround ourselves with, but we wanted to have it be a part of our stuff, part of our company that we carry some of the best product available. Now if you want a conventional style cooler, we can do that too. We are the outlet, local area dealer for Yukon Outfitters, which you can see, we got some of our cups here, and those are the cool Fiesta cups, which we got one here. They kind of remind you maybe of a famous cup that people have even made songs about.
Red Solo?
Red Solo.
Yeah. But they are pretty awesome. They are insulated just like the standard coolers and cups, and you get just a different look out of it. They do come with a lid and everything as well. Even the other units, if you check it out, has a little surprise in the middle. Got its own ping pong ball that comes with it. So,
oh, really?
So just something different, right? We wanted to offer something more, something different, and the whole line of products from Yukon, they make some great stuff, and we can get pretty much anything that they do as well. We did some of their coolers for the Ducks Unlimited banquet, and they make great product. We will expand that line more, but on the cooler side of it, we wanted something different, and that's where the rugged road stuff came in. It's done well for us.
I'm guessing no one nowhere near is carrying that cooler.
No, they're not, and that's the thing. Most people don't even know about it, and I think that if people knew more about it, maybe the other stores would want to, but not in East Texas anyway, not now. So
I got you.
Not here anyway. Lufkin or Nacogdoches they won't, but the thing is people need to come and try it, right? You can come into either of our stores and just be able to pick it up, right? When you pick that cooler up, it's unreal. You think you're just going to have to really grunt and grin and bear it, and it's not. There's nothing much to it. So, and the other cool thing, they even come with inside. You get a tray that comes with it, and a water bottle that even comes with it, and the 85 and 65 even come with a divider.
It's just so impressive that kid at such a young age came up with that.
That's
what
cool.
made him decide, like, hey, I'm going to invent this new cooler,
They call it the outside material that's on it. It's called Rigorite. I think that's right. Yeah, Rigorite is what they call it, and it's a cool material. It almost feels like the bed liner or something you get in a truck, but it's super durable. I love the fact that you can take that lid off. Right, they call it kickflip lid. I wish we should have had one here today, but we'll do a review and video on them. But you can flip it over. You got everything on both sides, but being able to use it even as a cutting board, it's that durable. And they line the bottom of Humvees with that stuff. So
really,
that's where maybe in one that you rode in, probably had it on the bottom of it. So
I never even thought about that. That's impressive. But so events and stuff, y'all been going to many of those?
Yeah, we feel, again, it goes back to feeling blessed and fortunate to be a part of some of the organizations that have put on events here. We've got the opportunity or had the, been lucky enough to be the FFL provider for Whitetails Unlimited, National Wild Turkey Federation, the Delta Waterfowl, which just started up this year. Those guys did a great job this year and had their inaugural, I guess their very first banquet here, and they did well. And then our most recent one, we did Ducks Unlimited.
That one's always fun.
Yeah, So we got that one done. We've got now coming up really soon, July the 8th, right? July 8th is something to keep in mind. Mark that date down. Get your tickets for East Texas Sportsman's Club, right? So the ETSC is going to have their banquet, and it's a great organization because what I like about them so much is most of their money stays here in the community. the almost all of their money that they raise, they turn around and put it back into the community, whether it be in youth organizations. They've done quite a bit of stuff for the game wardens and things that are focused around the outdoorsmen.
Yep.
And they do great with that. So
What they are is the Dallas Safari Club chapter.
Oh, okay.
What they're affiliated with.
yeah.
So where's that going to be located?
It's actually going to be right across the way over here at the Fredonia.
Really?
Most of the banquets that we've done here lately have all been out at the Civic Center.
Yep.
And but this one is going to be a little different. It's going to be here at the Fredonia, and so it'll be a nice setup.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have a few. They've got some different games and different things going to be set up. We've got even got the guys from Billy Lee Locksmith over in Lufkin. We work with those guys doing safes, right? So again, we looked into what is the best safe company on the market. What can we partner with, or what can we have in our stores that we can be proud of? And Fort Knox safes are, you can't beat them, right? It's hard to beat. They've got all the best stuff and all made in America, just unbeatable. Well, that group, that store, that shop, Billy Lee's Locksmith, was already a dealer for them. So instead of us bringing them on and trying to compete or do anything extra, we just partner with those guys. And so we work with them, and you've seen a couple of those safes that we have in our store, and we work through them to offer those safes. So we get the best safe on the market, and then some of the best people to move it and set it up for you as well.
I got you.
Those guys will be there as well as some of our other vendors. Even Silencer Shop, we talked about silencers a while ago. Silencer Shop will be there, one of our reps from there. We're actually going to even bring over our little kiosk so we can help set people up for a silencer that evening and get them get their fingerprints and get their picture and everything done, and help get everything set up for what they need.
That's legit.
So trying to, it goes back into offering more than people expect.
It is. In which the only thing I worry about the gun industry now is like what's going to happen in the future. And what is y'all's thoughts? Y'all worried about it, or?
Man, I don't think so. There's not. I don't want to sound retarded, but it's the United States. I mean,
Yeah,
we're not.
100%.
Nobody's really going to put up with it when it really boils down to it. I mean, I don't think that we're going to have to worry about it. The Second Amendment is there. I don't think it's going anywhere.
I don't think so either. People like us,
The Second Amendment is one part of it, but we need to remember. The Japanese general that talked about why they didn't invade the mainland is because
yes,
there's a gun behind every blade of grass in the States.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I mean, that's the point. That's very important on why we deter. It deters people from invading us. And for those who think that's not real, I mean, it can happen. I mean, things can happen.
Just the other day on 60 Minutes, Taiwan, they were interviewing the one of the head. I can't remember what minister it was in Taiwan, but they were referenced that specifically, and they were talking about making it mandatory, or not mandatory, but making it legal for every single citizen to own a gun or multiple guns because of the fear of China invading them, because they know it ain't going to happen in the U.S. for that exact reason.
100%. I mean, because just think, if you realistically, even in the state of Texas, that everyone that carries a gun, you have a legitimate army. You have a legitimate fighting force that's, and not only that, morally sounded.
Yep.
And so, that's just hard to beat. And that's what defers China and other places. 'Cause if they really thought that they could take us over, they would have done it a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's too appealing, I'm sure, to other countries. But on that aspect, for God bless our military, and for heaven's sake, we're so thankful for that. But on the same hand, how big of our military might is even more than what is in across the branches. Our
100%.
military might lies between people like us, the civilians that do carry, that do have it.
Yep.
So that's what helps make me believe that it's not as big a concern. And we don't want to get into politics and things like that, but on that aspect of it, there's always somebody who thinks they know better and thinks that guns need to go away, and a gun is a tool. And when you talk about the different firearms that are out there, they don't never jump up and do anything.
No.
There's got to be somebody behind that, and we've got to look at our mental health situation in the country and things like that more than we do trying to take something away from somebody.
100%.
For everything, all the bad stuff in the world, you're never going to be able to take them away from bad people.
No.
People who aren't supposed to have them anyway. So, why take them away from the good people?
With all this stuff that's happened, did y'all notice an increase in sales? Like people having like FOMO causing them to buy guns thinking they're going to be taken away. Y'all notice anything like that?
It has in the past.
It has in the past. I was going to say the same thing.
There was a period of time that it was. Now I would say the more recent events it hasn't. And don't get me wrong, by no means there's no condoning or no, we don't want anything bad to happen at all. And it doesn't, especially, well, at least in our area, right? As far as what we've dealt with, we haven't noticed it being a big increase or influx. A lot of times when the threat is there of trying to take something away, it prones more people to want to buy. But it goes back into some of the common sense logic and trying to get people to understand, hey, there's not something bad there. It's not what you think it is. So, and that's where I've never been able to yet, but I would love to be able to have a conversation, an actual civil conversation with somebody who is against it. And most of the time that I have, I even have a son, right? I've got a 25-year-old son who I had conversations with about it, and just educating somebody on it and getting them to understand, more about the firearms and what it's used for, what it is. And it actually makes a difference when you talk about actually have good civil conversations with people.
Exactly. Education.
Yeah.
And education is huge on it. Whenever we talk to people in our stores, that's something that I'm pretty passionate about making sure that we're not, we're not a place that's just going to give anybody a gun, right? Just because you come in and you want to buy a gun, you want to give us money for it. Number one, the system doesn't work that way, right? Number one, you actually have to go through a check, okay? And even if the background check, even if the government says, yeah, you can give it to them, doesn't mean that we give it to them, right? So we're kind of that last line of defense of saying, you know what, something's not comfortable about this person. And if I'm not comfortable giving that person a gun, then I don't have to.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what, somebody thinks that we're being biased or whatever. If there's something that shows signs of that person shouldn't have a gun, well, then we don't have to give it to them. So there's checks and balances in place, and I do that with my people. The other side of that is being able to have those discussions with people when they're actually come in and looking. Too many times I've seen where husband comes in and buys a gun for his wife just because of its color or whatever, and or they buy something just because think it looks cool or it is cool. What we try to do is really have those conversations with people and say, hey, how does this feel? Does it fit in your hands? How does your grip feel in it? We want to make sure that we're fitting the gun to the person, not the person to the gun. So we want to make sure that we're putting the right thing in their hands, that they can be a responsible gun owner and be able to take care of themselves and handle that firearm safely. By no means do we ever want to release something to somebody who shouldn't have it. So the education side of it, the making sure that people are comfortable with it, making sure they understand how to use it, that's all things that we're going to go through. I want to see them being able to rack it, to whatever, to open the cylinder or whatever it may take, work the bolt, work the action, whatever. I want them to be able to operate that firearm and know something about it. Even, we even go into some of the cleaning processes sometimes and making sure that people understand, hey, there's maintenance involved, right? This isn't a one-time buy, never do anything with it again type deal. There's things you got to do to it. So we try to make sure that we're offering that as well.
What's y'all's favorite guns? Are y'all allowed to say that?
Well, so he may be a little different than me. I don't really have one. I mean, I can tell you what I carry, and I can tell you what I have, but I've never. When I was in the pawn business, there was so many things that came through. Right, there was so many times that there was all this cool stuff come through, and my friend told me one day. It was my friend / boss. He's the guy that owns the other shop. He tells me, like, look, don't get caught up on that, because there's always going to be something else you like, right? There's always going to be another one. There's always going to be something different that you like. Yeah, there'll always be something else that's better and something that you like more. So don't get caught up on any one item. And so in doing that, it's taught me to not be too
You can pass it back.
too caught up with it, right? Not to get too caught up with any one gun or any one product, any one item. So what I look at is there's a lot of things that come through that I want to keep. The very first firearm that I assembled, that I put together, that I did a Cerakote. I'm a certified Cerakote applicator, and the very first Cerakote job that I did and that we put together, I was so proud of it. It was awesome. I mean, it was just really cool. Had the Spartan look to it and different things. We did a custom color mix on it, and it was so awesome. I just knew that I was going to keep that one forever. Yeah, I had a guy come along. He's like, I know that's your first one that you did, but I got to have it. So he got it.
Really got a prize.
You can build another one.
Yeah, I'll just build another one. And that's been the thing. I mean, right now, there's a little gun sitting on the table there, that 8.6 Blackout. I'm a little, biased to that right now. If I was going to pick something, that would probably be it. But
I agree with that. I've always been a 30 caliber dude. I've always wanted my favorite gun from the time I was a kid was 300 Win Mag. I've got one. I've got several calibers of 300s, but that right there is pretty much a game changer. 300 Blackout was cool, but that takes it to another level. It's a much heavier bullet. It packs a wallop, and you can shoot it subsonic. It's just super round.
I want to hear about your
Hog hunt.
helicopter hog hunt trip.
Man, that was it was fun. It was fun. I've never done that before. I rode in a lot of helicopters my previous career, but that was taken to a different level. I mean, the guns were essentially just piston driven ARs, 5.56s. We didn't do anything special on them, but we did with the one unique gun that we did do was the KSG.
the
Shotgun, 18
Really?
round,
Yeah.
pump, and that thing that was awesome.
Where did
But
you go?
It was right out of Wichita Falls.
Really?
Yep, and we didn't see a ton of hogs. We did shoot. It was 20 something of them. We've seen a crap ton of coyotes. We shot 29 or so coyotes as well. I mean, it was a fun hunt for sure. It's 4 hours seemed like 5 minutes.
Really?
But it was a blast. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it.
Did you go with your brother?
Yeah, me and Basil and another friend of ours went, Jinx, and he kind of set it up. It was a good deal. It was fun for sure. I'd like to do it again. There's a couple other places that we'd like to go just to try it in different area, but you can't. It's really limited to the time frame because it's got to be before the vegetation grows back. So it's kind of a midwinter, late winter because otherwise it's really cold flying around with all the windows open, doors off the thing. So you got to get it like in the February to late March. So you got a 2 months window essentially.
I wonder if you go to like South Texas. Is it pretty prominent there?
You can, but it's really brushy there. Same type deal.
Really?
You got to do it in the winter before the stuff starts springing off in the spring.
I wonder if like China in that area, like near Beaumont, in all them rice fields near Winnie.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I wonder if that'd be good.
I'm sure. I haven't looked at that. I know there's several of them in South Texas. There's some down Brenham College Station area, out west of that, and then up there was just a lot of real low brush. It wouldn't be any. You couldn't do it around here for anything because too many trees.
I got
But
you.
yeah, it was a blast though. I'd like that guy had everything set up. We didn't bring a gun. We didn't bring a bullet. We had 40 round mags in those guns, and we just had put a box of them in front of us, and he was just like, just drop it, pick another one, drop it, pick another one, and you just as fast as you can shoot. We actually Well, your brother clipped that video for us and combined everything into I think it was 3-minute video. So it was 4 hours to 3 minutes is what it ended up being.
Really?
Yep. So all of it was done.
Y'all still have that ranch over there? Where was y'all's ranch?
In South Texas? No, we don't have any more. But we flew that one time, seen a few, but it wasn't. Again, it was too brushy.
Over there on y'all's ranch?
Yeah, we got rid of that.
Did y'all have exotics on that, or?
Yeah, there was quite a few exotics: elk, stag, axis, pretty much all the normal exotic stuff. But there was quite a few big whitetails on it. A couple of guys here at the Nacogdoches Cigar Company came down, hunted with us down there.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't took hunting seriously in forever.
Man,
I need to. I'm just so busy doing everything.
Oh, I hear you. And I'm the same way. I've hunted all my life, but here in the last 2-3 years, I don't think I've shot a deer. Now I did. This is what my wife said. She said you quit hunting at home so you could go somewhere else and hunt. Because we shot Alaska last year or 2 years ago, New Mexico mule deer this year, and that type of thing. So it's not exciting there at the house anymore. But like I said, I've been hunting and guns all my life. So, but I want to circle back to one thing that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
was talking about education. One of the things that John was, I'm sure, fixing to get to was our partnership with the ranges close by us, and that was what I was going to lead into that, and I'll let him take over on it. You see us sipping this Eagle Rare here. It's excellent whiskey. A good, now really good friend of ours gave it to us as a gift. His wife went through cancer several years ago and started a charity here that we started shooting skeet on. It was sporting clays, actually, not skeet. I get my hand slapped for saying that in that crowd. But anyway, we started shooting it even before Timber Ridge existed, and we enjoyed it. It was for a good cause. Loved supporting it. Our admin, that's color admin, our office manager here in Nacogdoches, she's a breast cancer survivor, so it was kind of hit close to home for us. So it's something we like to support. Me and my brother and cousin, several of us go shoot it every year. But anyway, when we started Timber Ridge, it was coming up. It was actually in the same month that we opened the shop. We were like, man, this is something I'd love to support, and got John on board with it, and we were the title sponsor.
I don't even think we were open at the store
yeah,
yet.
we weren't.
We definitely weren't open by the time we committed to it.
Yeah.
But it is an awesome organization, and she's got a great story.
Yep.
There will be another shoot this coming October, and we're set up to be the title sponsor for it again. And we're happy to be behind it. And her story's awesome. But they were kind enough to gift us this bottle and these glasses. So I've been holding on to it since then. And I said, well, we need to find a good time. We need to find a good opportunity to use it. So I felt like this was the best opportunity to be able to open it up and try it out. So, and I'm not a whiskey connoisseur, but I'm actually ready for my next class.
Pour you one.
So it's not bad.
If you want to pour you one, I'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, come on.
So the event for everybody, you guys need to come out to it. It's Kimberly's Clay Crush. It's going to be in, I believe, the third week of October. It's Kimberly and Bubba Farrell, excellent couple. Like I said, didn't know them very well, but now they're really good friends of ours. Started shooting sporting clays with Bubba, and he's an excellent guy, his wife as well. So come out and support them. It'll be a great time, great event, and it's for a dang good cause. And you'll hear her story out there.
How big's y'all's turnaround on that?
Holy cow!
Did a lot of people show up?
Man, that was I wish I knew for sure, but it was something just shy of 300 people.
Really?
Yeah, that is a hefty pour, John. Oh, my. We won't need a refill.
I told you I'm not a connoisseur, so I wasn't sure how much to pour.
The more he's drinking, the more he'll talk.
I'll probably be pouring something back in the bottle. But no, it's an excellent event, and so we've started doing a lot of stuff with the Pines Sporting Clays Club out there. We've sponsored them as well, the Sporting Clays range, and working with them guys to try to get a give and take relationship. Like if we get customers that are buying shotguns, we say, hey guys, look, here's a Sporting Clays skeet shooting range here in town, just down the road around the loop. you guys can go out there, shoot for a discount, and vice versa. If they get some new members, they come over there and buy a shotgun from us, they get a discount on it.
Really? One thing I noticed about y'all's brand, though, is like y'all really support the small businesses around here and small businesses in general.
Yep.
And like, it's pretty crazy because like going back to the guy with the cooler and stuff. I mean, y'all giving him an opportunity. Y'all giving us an opportunity. You know, we greatly appreciate that. And y'all are building a legacy pretty big from the start, and that's really impressive.
That's what
that y'all
we're trying to do.
I don't know if it's organic, it's just happening, or if that's intentional, but it's pretty impressive. You know,
Well, by all means, I mean, we want to build something that's not just for us. You know, with our employees that we have and future employees and anyone else, we want to build something that they can be a part of, that they're proud to be a part of, and everything that we do in the community, we want to give back as much as we can. You know, and that's something that Johnny and I are putting a plan together on. You know, a big portion of our proceeds and profits, you know, to where we are giving back. Mm-hmm. You know, and in the future we'll announce some of that stuff. We're working on some plans, and that's for a future podcast. But we'll do some stuff in the future where we talk about, you know, some of the different things that we're going to do like that. I mean, we're unfortunately small businesses, like you said, are too often neglected and overlooked now.
100%.
You know, you drive through any of the towns, and it's hard to find just a locally owned small business guy anymore. And we, you know, of course we want to grow to be a big business, but we will never, you know, it's not ever forgetting our roots. So
I do think that's changing, though. I think that market's changing because with the corporate big marketing strategies of doing certain things that some people don't agree with and forcing a lot of stuff, I think people are about to start really shopping locally again. Yeah. I think we're about to start seeing a dramatic change in that.
There's a lot of people now that won't even step foot in a Walmart. They want to shop local. Mm-hmm. They don't want to step foot in any of these big box stores. Instead of going to Lowe's or Home Depot, they'll go to Harry's or they'll go to McCoy's or, you know, Elliott's and smaller outlets instead of, you know, trying to support the local business. That's what we're trying to do as well. And like with you guys, we want to grow together. We want to partner with people that want to grow, and that way we can all organically, you know, benefit from it and
100%
give back as much as we can along the way.
We've been, again, I throw it out there probably too much, but being blessed and fortunate, where we've got organizations or groups or I guess departments like Angelina College and Angelina County and some of the others who have actually, you know, used us and worked through us instead of going to some areas where they could probably save a little more money, you know, and I'm doing everything I can to be competitive for them. Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that they want to do business with us. And it makes me feel so good about, you know, they understand and they're willing to pay us a little more to take care of us because we are a locally owned business and something in their community. And they want us to be there as much as we want to be there. So, it's such a great thing. So
especially now for me, like, which I've always been the person to go shop at a, you know, local business. For one thing, I like to go see their culture. I like to go see what they're about. I just find interest in it. But I'm not going to do anything that morally contradicts what I do. Like, I'm not going to go step in Target again. I'm not going to go step in some of these other stores. I'm not going to drink a certain beer again, just because. Just because, like, I don't believe in buying what's cheaper. I believe in what's doing morally right, you know, for the most part. And so, I truly think we're about to see a dramatic change in the whole economic market with that. You know, because there's people like us, you know, that are with the same values and thoughts. You know,
goes back to that silent majority.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got so many people who are catering to the very small percentage because they're making the most noise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Whatever. Do whatever's right. I personally, as far as it goes with our shop, with our whatever we do, I want to take care of everybody. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what it is. If I can help you and I can do something for you, then I'm willing to do it.
100%.
So, you know, I'm not trying to push anything on you. Don't try to push anything on me.
Exactly.
So you do you, I'll do me, and we're good. And by the way, if you need something, you need a firearm, you need training, you need something, let me know. I'll help you. So, and that's what we're about. It's not, I'm not trying to fit anybody's agenda or, upset anybody or piss anybody off. But on the same hand, I don't want to hear your, I'm not going to push my beliefs on you. Don't push yours on me.
100%.
And we're good with that. So,
So in this realm or in this market, I mean, especially in our area, there's really not a strong amount of, I guess, competition, you'd say, as in everyone around here buys guns, obviously. And so when y'all was thinking of locations and places, what made y'all choose Lufkin?
Well, the Lufkin is a little bigger than Nacogdoches.
Yeah.
And, I've wanted to do something in Lufkin for a while. I actually ran a pawn shop over there for a number of years. And the economics for Lufkin are good. There's a lot of people will go there to shop and to buy because they do have a few more stores than we do here in Nac. But it's a place to start, right?
Yeah.
Now, will we ever do something in Nacogdoches? Maybe. But will we do something somewhere else? Yeah, we will be doing other stuff. The point is we had to have a place to start. We were able to secure a good spot, their location. We feel super fortunate for where we're at. We have a ton of drive-by traffic, and you can't pay enough for that. So that's awesome. The opportunity that we have with Lufkin, it was just good for the time, right? It was the right place, right time. The gentleman that we bought the building from is an awesome individual.
Super cool.
He's a super great guy, and he was excited for the fact that a gun store is going in his shop, into his building. He and his wife, his family built that building, and so for the fact of realizing that, hey, I'm okay with that, that a gun store is going to be in my shop, and I can't tell you how good that makes me feel on an aspect of buying it from somebody who, he's a lifetime NRA member, veteran, so on and so forth. He's just a great individual, and so it seemed like the stars aligned. I guess if that, as corny as that sounds, it just seemed like the right thing to do, and so again, Lufkin and Angelina County and the surrounding counties have all been good to us. I can't express that enough of how welcome we were, and for opening a gun store. It's not necessarily the thing that you would expect. Even the church that we are next to a church, and they were welcoming and appreciative. They're awesome. It's just a great group of people, a great area, and we service not just Lufkin. We service the entire surrounding area. We do a lot with people from Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches is awesome. That's kind of where I started here in this type of business, and so we still take care of a ton of people from Nacogdoches, and always will. Again, we may or may not do something in the future here, but we can still take care of them. I still live here. Johnny lives here, and we deliver. Hey, whatever it takes.
Yep.
We'll take care of people. So whatever it takes. All right. So we had mentioned the Pines, and we are doing a lot of work with those guys out there at the Pines Sporting Clays. It's a great organization outside of Lufkin, off of Highway 69 going south. So they're definitely a group that, if you do anything shotgun, that's definitely somebody that you want to get with and be able to shoot with. But and we'll be doing other things other than just the Envelopes for Hope and doing other stuff out there. But another organization that we deal with is the Angelina Rifle and Pistol Club. They've got a great facility out there that most people don't know about. They do have somewhere close to 400 members out there, but it is an awesome facility. They've got multiple shooting ranges, go out to 500 yards on rifle, multiple pistol ranges and even rimfire ranges, even a plinking pit, they call it. So if you want to throw a can out there and shoot it, just some different things.
Really?
It's a great opportunity for kids to learn and such. So the plus side of it too, there's some different, they're always doing something. Almost every weekend they have some sort of an event going on. They have a steel challenge, they have IDPA, and then some range, some rifle, long range stuff doing it too. Now, on the IDPA part of it, we are sponsoring an event in October that will be the Piney Woods Shootout, right? So it's a big deal, a big event that's coming up. So you'll see some of our videos in the future. We're going to be at the Pines, or especially at Angelina Rifle and Pistol Club, when we do some test firing and some demoing of this. We'll do some things there. We'll also do some stuff at CSAT. We truly appreciate Paul Howe and all that he's done, and everything that we can do with those guys. So,
I love that man.
Yeah, he's
I'd
he's
give
an
my
awesome
life for that
individual.
man.
He's an awesome individual, and he's allowed us to, be able to, in the future, we'll do some shoots and things with him. We've got some things even coming up this week that we're going to do.
Yeah.
Possibly there.
I'm
so
ready.
We'll see how it goes. So we've got some guys coming into town, so we're going to take advantage of them being here and do some shoots with them. So Timber, maybe Hawk, Griffin, some other stuff. So we got some things coming on down the pipeline. So
Yeah,
we'll
he's
see.
talking with me about that earlier. I think that's an opportunity to jump
Yeah.
on it.
So we'll do some test firing, some playing in the ranges and stuff. But on that, outside of that, let's talk about you a little bit.
I mean, that was the subject, right? You were a guest on our show, right? So
We've talked about us enough. It's enough. So how about you? You being the guest, let's talk about you.
Okay.
So number one, we truly appreciate your service.
Oh,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Glad I
Thank
could
you
do
so
it.
much for what you've done and being here. So the Marines. Let's talk about the Marines itself. How was that life experience as far as being a Marine? You're a lifetime Marine now.
So, I love it. Whenever I was in, I loved it. It was definitely. So, whenever I was little, I've always knew I was going to the military. Like I was 4 years old. So you can ask my parents. They'd like, that's all I talked about. All I was playing wars.
Well,
like,
I mean, dude, your name is Gunner. So I mean, it's kind of like
they did it to
you got
themselves.
to.
That's what I told them. They did it to themselves. And even whenever I was little, I remember having this little Green Army men and stuff. And I had a big battle. A lot of them died. Well, on my mom's wall, I painted American flag and I did a memorial for them and stuff like that. And I really didn't get in trouble because they just thought it was, I guess, outrageous kind of. But so I was pretty fascinated going into it, and went to boot camp in San Diego, and then I went to Camp Pendleton for my infantry training. Then I got stationed in 29 Palms, California. And 29 Palms, that's in the Mojave Desert. I don't know if y'all know where that's at, but it's kind of in between. It's still in California, but it's like you can get to Vegas there from California. And it's not far from Vegas, hour and a half. And it was not a.
Well, I've never heard anything real great about it. But,
Yeah, it was nothing great about it.
Not great. I got to be stationed at 29 Palms, right?
See, and which oddly, we were so upset getting stationed there, but once we got there, we loved it. For one thing, we was getting all the cool deployments. Was going to Afghanistan, was going to Syria, was going to Iraq. And as a Marine, you want to go fight wars. That's just what you want to do as a Marine infantryman. And so once we learned that, we were like, okay, this place is awesome. And also, once we learned Vegas was only an hour and a half away, we thought it was really awesome. So the Marine life, and it was awesome, and I did very well there. I hate talking about it, but like in 2017, I won Marine of the Year out of the Marine Corps, and
That's awesome.
it was do some other stuff too. And so went to the advanced infantry courses down in Hawaii. That was really cool. So I got a lot of cool experiences, but my best experiences by far was the people I served with, and also the Afghanistan experience. Those were very humbling. Very
Well, at
humbling.
least you didn't mention the bunny ranch experience, so we're okay. Then,
Yeah. We stayed away from them.
Gotcha.
No, but
Well,
go ahead.
Well, let's talk about Afghanistan. I
Okay.
mean, I know that's not a place that necessarily anyone wants to be, but I know that we've done a lot of good things over there. So,
Yeah, so the Afghanistan, like my time in Afghanistan was definitely a different dynamic than, early 2000s, Our mission there was kind of to train and advise the Afghans and stuff, and try to sort that plethora of this chaos. But so the Afghans were really making a dramatic push on the Taliban. They were using us as, security. They were using us to help them shoot and all kinds of other different little submissions. And we do security patrols around the base and stuff like that. But they were really making good headway because they're using our air to go and do airstrikes and stuff like that. But it was, it's just, so my first deployment, we'd stay at the main base in Kandahar, then we'd fly off to these little sub bases. We flew into Marja and other small little bombs at the Afghans, and we'd live with them for about 3 weeks to a month and training and advise them and stuff. And as we're there, we're taking IDF, we're taking small arms fire, we're taking everything else like that. And it's just, you see that these guys are making a dramatic push and stuff like that, but you also see how much they're not being able to do this without us.
Yeah.
Because the Taliban was really jacking them up, and without our air support, they wouldn't have made it.
Right.
But it was humbling, the fact, because you see how these people live. It's very third world country. If you think of Bible times, what you read in the Bible and stuff like that, that's still how they're living. There's this little girl that made a dramatic impact on me, that in the morning she would come and with her little donkey and fill up her, she's probably 6 years old, by herself, come up to the water hole, fill water up for her family, and take it back.
Man, that does remind me of the Bible.
Yeah, out of one well that this village had, they only had one well, and that was it, and she'd come and do that. And it's just very humbling seeing stuff like that. And also very humbling seeing these 15-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids get killed all the time, and it's crazy. It's crazy down there. It's literally the Wild West. But that's what we asked for as a Marine infantryman. That's what we want to go into. If I was told to go back today, I would. In a heartbeat. Wow. I'd leave. I would drop everything to go back.
Wow.
Be with the same guys and operating with them. It's just a crazy experience.
It seems like a crazy tight brotherhood.
It's extreme. It's extreme. And it's like a different brotherhood from me and my brothers that are biological to me. It's just it's weird. I wish I could, in the fire department, that's the reason why I'm in the fire department now, is because to experience that again, because I don't think I could live without it.
Right.
Once you have that bond with somebody, it's hard to lose. That's, going back to veterans killing themselves and stuff like that. It's not necessarily PTSD, it's the loss of purpose and the loss of brotherhood in that.
Sure.
Because it's not that I've, been just straight crazy, mentally messed up. It's just, I do miss my brothers.
Sure.
And now that I know that they are living their lives and I'm living my life, we'll probably see each other, but we just won't have that bond like we had. And that was what was so great about the Marine Corps, that they were able to build that for us and bond us like that. So,
yeah, the last drawing that we had, the raffle that we did, we're donating to VFW, and what we saw dealing with VFW is I just don't think that people understand enough what you guys have went through and maybe are going through, and there's just not enough support. You can talk about it all the time, and there are some organizations that are doing a lot of good stuff, and hopefully we can be a part of that in the future and do more with it. But you just never know. You'll never know what you guys have gone through or will go through.
People don't know it from the way you know it. They don't. You can't put it in perspective enough for them to appreciate it and to understand what you guys go through and the brotherhood that you build there. So it's crazy.
It is 100%. Actually, it's funny that you said that. I was talking to my buddy from Cali, and he sees it.
Yep.
He has his baby mom problems, whatever. But she does not respect anything that he's done in his military career at all. She don't care about it. She don't want to hear it. And it's disheartening because, I did it for different reasons than others. I legitimately just wanted to go and fight.
Sure.
That's it. But some guys really truly do it to go and serve their country and protect their families and stuff like that. And if you go in that with that vision, and your family or a loved one shits on it, I mean,
Yep.
it destroys it.
Yep.
You know, I was the kind of the odd duck of my family where I didn't serve. Between my grandfathers, my father, my brother, so on and so forth. I started to join. I almost joined. It was kind of one of those girl stories, and and I'm one of those guys that even studied for the ASVAB test and didn't actually join. I wanted to. I started to, but I was a poor kid growing up, and I actually had a full ride. Was able to have my college paid for, and so I said, "Hey, I want to go to college." Well, that lasted for a very short time until life happened, and then I had to do something else, and then worked from there on. But the extreme respect that I have for you guys that did, and those that have, it just sometimes I wished I could live my life through you. It's just a thing that everybody should have that respect and that. Understanding, you can't understand until you've been there and done that.
Appreciation.
But,
yeah, everybody should truly appreciate it. So, I mean, we don't know what we've got until we don't have it. But you don't have it if it wasn't for you guys.
Yeah. And it's true. And I don't see it that way. I see it as I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel good that people do appreciate it and stuff. It really does.
For sure.
Because especially in this world that we're living, there's people that don't.
Yep.
And so now, being a demographic where people that do, like, it's a safe place for me to be able to live and operate and do things, because I don't have to worry about, like, hiding what I've been through, hiding something I'm not proud of, And so I could be flagrant with it and, be proud of what I've done.
Yep.
And that's really.
Yeah.
I'm
My
grateful
nephew
for it.
is in Japan right now. He is in the Navy. He actually just got promoted. He's, I guess what you call a sergeant with in most. Wow, I'm a terrible uncle to be able to not tell you exactly what he is, but he's just got a promotion.
The Navy.
And it's awesome.
The
I'm
Navy
sorry,
ranking,
Tanner. I will correct that in the next episode. But
the Navy ranking system is something, as a Marine, I never understood.
I think he's petty officer second class.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
something
is what
like
it is.
that. Yeah.
But he's done extremely well. I tremendously love my nephew, but he's scatterbrained, and I'm so proud that he has done and accomplished what he has. He's and we'll talk about some of his stories later, but he's
Maybe we can get him on the podcast, interview him if he comes back this side.
Yeah, maybe so. He just came back. He's about to go to Poland, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
he's in Japan, been in Japan he'll have been there for 3 years, right? So he joined up, he'd been there for almost 4 years. He signed up for 5. And he's kind of a COVID baby type thing, or kind of got caught with COVID. And so whenever he started, he went to basic training, and he had to pick some assignments. And my son has been fascinated with Japan since he was in junior high. And so I've got my youngest son was now 23. My nephew's 24, and my oldest son is 25. And so my youngest son has this fascination with Japan for a long time. Well, when my nephew had the opportunity to sign up and say, okay, well, where would you go after basic or after AIT? And Japan was one of his options. Well, he was one of the few people that picked Japan, so where did he go? And it was kind of one of those things he got there before my son did.
So just rub it in his face.
So he gets to talk about it all the time.
Are they pretty close?
So they are. I mean, they talk often. But he enjoys it. The kid fishes all the time, and we always called him Fishtail Tanner because he can tell the biggest fishtails of anybody. Bless his heart. He's awesome, but he can tell some big fishtails. But he actually, when he's off, he's whatever the MP calls an equivalent to, or the Navy calls an equivalent to an MP. Mm-hmm. That's what he does for them as in military police. But when he's not working, he's working on a fishing charter. So he's going out on a charter all the time. And so now his plan is to retire, stay with them till retirement and then start a fishing charter. So
Whenever Johnny and them buy that big yacht
you know,
and start that fishing charter,
There you go.
He could work for him.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's the future plan. We got
We can put him on the website. We sell his charters off the website.
exactly. So yeah, it's a personal experience for us, and as far as in the combat and stuff and things in Afghanistan, did you ever have to see anything traumatic, or were you involved in anything major? Or and please forgive me if I try to get too personal.
Yeah, it's chaos every day. It's chaos every day. I'm very fortunate nobody in my platoon got killed or hit on either deployments, but there was other Marines that did get killed, and and Afghans were getting killed every single day, and we would see them, but that's one thing I was very fortunate with coming out of my deployment, is that none of my guys got killed. Because some reservists, a few of them got killed and some other stuff, but as far as combat experience, I'm not saying I'm the most salty guy. I'm nowhere near it, but compared to people like Paul Howe and other people that with very big valor.
Kind of hard to compare to Delta, though.
That's true, but it was still a chaotic place to be. Take a mortar fire almost every single day and stuff like that. It's just, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. But I can't tell you that we were in firefights every single day and stuff like that. Because we weren't. But I've seen enough to be happy with it. My little itch was somewhat satisfied. So
would you say that as Americans, as everyday citizens, that we have no clue as to what other people in the world have to deal with?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because you're talking about the Taliban going into your house. And the Taliban as a whole, they don't have these morals of they're actually a pretty organized organization that are for the good, per se. But they have people in their place that's not in their organization that are not good. Going in and raping families, murdering families and stuff like that, that's pretty common occurrence. And also for that, they'd figure out the Afghan army, their families, and they'd go kill, murder, and rape them, But even the Afghan army side they're not all just great, Because, they'd have little boys to come bring them tea that would live with them, that would sleep with them, and it's weird. So, I didn't have a good liking of either side, per se. And also they were always trying to kill us, even the Afghan army. See, especially my first deployment, we'd always have to be worried about, because the Afghan army, a lot of them worked for the Taliban too. And so we had to worry about, we'd have a CI guy collecting information and collecting data. Tells, hey, there's a guy that's on base right now that he's planning to shoot all y'all or blow y'all up or whatever. So they'd have to go and try to find this guy and try to kill him.
Wow.
But it's just a messed up place. So anything spot, you can have, say if your little girl or one of your girls got killed, she's worth $500,000. As long as you bring me $500,000, I don't care. That's the way that's how they live.
That is insane.
That's how they live, and it's weird. And also I don't want to get into the Muslim religion and stuff, but they don't whatever. But on Thursdays, men walk around holding each other's hands and kissing, and yeah, it's crazy stuff. I'm telling you, it's crazy stuff. And so you just wonder it's, I don't know. It's not that. What are we fighting for? It's pretty much what I'm getting down to.
What years were you over there?
So for my first deployment, I was there 2016, 2017, and my last one was 2018, 2019. So in 29 Palms, we had a pretty fast work tempo. So we'd go for a deployment for supposed to be 6 months, but everything's delayed, so about 8 months. And so we'd come back for about 6 months to a year, then we'll go right back out again. And so we operate pretty fast.
I know this is kind of a generic question, but what would be a day in the life, right? So like if you were there, so you get up in the morning, what is a day in the life of being in Afghanistan?
So
like?
it's different. So as far as I'll give you a day in the life of my squad, so our kind of routine. So we have a rotation. So we have like a post, like where we go and set posts for our base or a little fob. Because we live, so our second deployment, we actually live with the Afghans. We live with them. Like we literally live with them. And so we'd stand security on our little portion of the base, even stand security against them. But so we'd post there for, I think our rotation was 8 hours. Then we had 8 hours of QRF and 8 hours of sleep. And QRF is quick reaction force, so anything that happened, so when we got mortared, when we got, whatever that came at us, we would go and we'd go take casualties if we need to, or we'd go stand extra post. But then we also had our sleep, and that's kind of the time that we'd kind of work out. We try to work out during QRF when we wasn't busy, because we were also always like trying to update and better our little portion of our base and more secure it. So we try to work out then. So if we didn't have anything planned on our QRF time, we'd go work out during that. But on our rest time, we'd try to sleep if we could, or we would rest. But like take a mortar fire and stuff all the time, because once we take mortar fire or anything else, we'd have to go and man post and sit there, and because the workout area is not guarded. So if we take a mortar shell, we'd be pretty done. And so one thing about our base, so if they had this made on T-shirts, it's I can't remember, it's like 40% or 80%. My buddy Lozier, the mortar team, they came up with this configuration. But if we had like a 82 millimeter mortar shell land in our base, we had like a 80% chance of getting hit, just because we live in such a small area.
Wow.
But that was pretty cool. But so we'd go stand post, go QRF or sleep. On our QRF days, though, sometimes we'd have to go patrol. Like, once or twice a week, we'd go patrol around the base, kind of near through the village, whatever, and come back and stuff like that. And so then also sometimes during our QRF times, we have to go and set OPs. We'd go with snipers, or we'd go with our platoon sergeant. We'll go set out somewhere near the base, and we'd try to look for observation of Taliban and stuff like that. 'Cause there's a point to where we were getting mortared pretty frequently, and they were doing it out of this one compound, and was trying to like locate these guys so we can drop HIMARS on them. And HIMARS are them big things or these big trucks with rockets, and they shoot, and their artillery, they can shoot up to 100 miles away. And so we were trying to get them guys, if not be able to shoot them or send mortars on them, was trying to find them, because like it was getting somewhere like every single day was taking mortar fire. But
people ride roller coasters because they want an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Go take a ride over there. Hang out.
They'd love it. They would love it. But that's the thing though. Like so, it's an adrenaline rush for the first few days you're there, but then it just becomes a new normal. And
Wow.
It's just like, here we go, we're taking mortars again.
Well, at a core, Timber Ridge Outfitters, right, started out with the gun side of things, right? So, I'm sure you got to shoot some cool shit, right?
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
what kind of things have you got to play with?
I mean, your 50 cals, your Mark 19s, 203s, your obviously M4 and stuff. We got to shoot mortars. I got to shoot mortars in Afghanistan. Mortars are pretty cool. Especially the 81s, they will rock your. Even like just dropping the mortar round through the tube, like it rocks your world. Like it gives you like a concussion, and everything else is so loud.
Nice.
But shooting 50 cals is pretty fun because, but 50 cals are kind of pain in the ass because you got to do your timing and stuff, to make sure your shoot's right. But Mark 19s were cool when they wasn't jamming. They just jam so often. It was
really?
kind of aggravating to shoot. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I got to clear it and move on, right? So, I mean, I've got to play with a few things, had a few things come through the shops and stuff, but I can't imagine it's anything like you've dealt with. And
the cool actually weapon systems that I enjoyed shooting the most was like the Law and the AT4. They're shoulder carried rocket launchers.
Oh yeah.
Those are really cool to shoot. Those are really enjoyable. But as the movies, they show them making this big ass explosion, and it's not really like that.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it's got a good penetration force to like pierce armor, but as far as like making just some dramatic explosion, they don't do that. But it's still cool, very cool to shoot.
I could imagine. I mean, my brother was in the Army during the time of Operation Desert Storm, right? So mid-'90s, and he worked on a missile system called the Hawk missile, and it was a bigger missile than the Patriot, and the Patriot was all that we actually used. So it was all that we needed. So the thing about it is I can just imagine what truly, and I'm happy that the public doesn't know, but I can only imagine what we actually do have that the public doesn't know about.
Oh yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
I'm sure there's so many things out there that we have the capability to use if we need to.
There was some stuff in the works now that are dealing with lasers. Whenever I was getting out there, it was talking about like, so they'll have like a incoming, say, nuclear round come towards us, but they'll be able to shoot a laser at it when it's in aerospace and destroy it with a laser.
Wow.
That's stuff they were working on whenever I was even reading articles and stuff about while I was in. So, I mean, just imagine what we have now compared to like 20 years ago technology, what's going to be in the next 20 years. It's going to be crazy as far as that's the thing about war. Like, war's it's involving less people, but getting more deadlier.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, with the nuclear weapons and the technology, it's just,
Well, I'm glad that we're on the forefront of that. I mean, I know that like there's a new movie coming out, Oppenheimer, talking about what happened, and yes, there was a, you know, as far as the devastation that it caused, but you know, if we're not on the forefront of that, you know, we're
Bad
the
shape.
receiver. We're the receivers.
yeah, we don't want to
Exactly.
not be on the forefront of
Exactly.
things. So I can only imagine that there are so many things that the public doesn't know about, and that's a good thing, right? So that's not a bad thing for the public not knowing about what we can and can't do. So
And I really enjoy that we're separated from everything else. Like, we're separated from the other continents. You know,
Yeah.
we're kind of like out here by ourselves. At least we have time if something did pop off to be able to destroy it before
Yep.
it got to us. You know?
Exactly.
But if you're in a place like from Russia to China or in that European area, like,
well, Russia to Ukraine,
yeah, you Russia to Ukraine, like
Ukraine's dealing with.
Yep.
it's crazy. And with Russia and Ukraine, that's another crazy. That's the most conventional war that's ever been fought since Vietnam.
Yep.
And that Vietnam really wasn't conventional. It's horrible. It's a legitimized war that's going on right now.
My nephew, what his his main support will be supporting the Ukraine effort. So, you know, there'll be things coming into that port. You know, him being in the Navy, he basically, from what I understand, his job will be supporting or guarding the ports and stuff with incoming and outgoing of things going to the Ukraine to help support that effort. So, you know, I haven't kept up with it, or you know, maybe I'm a bad American to not follow it completely, but you know, I know it's a bad thing going on over there.
Oh, it is. But the best thing you can do as an American right now is not watch the news.
That is for sure.
Yep. But no. But my time in the Marine Corps, I really enjoyed it. I'm very fortunate for the experiences that I made. It's who made me today. You know, being humbled to seeing what life, how bad it can really be. To, you know, like, here, like, with things, like, it's not so bad. You know, my grandpa having cancer, like, it's horrible. Like, I hate it, but it could be worse.
Sure.
You know,
Well, did you always know that you wanted to be a Marine?
No, I actually tried to join the Army first. So I tried to join the Army. I wanted an Army with an Option 40 Ranger Regiment contract, so I'd go in the 75th Rangers. But they told me my eyesight wasn't good enough. I couldn't even get infantry. So I got pissed off and took my contract away. And I went right over to the Marine Corps desk and told them I wanted infantry, and they said, done deal. But my grandpa, like my great-grandpa, was a Marine and stuff. He was a Marine infantryman, so I definitely had pride in the Marines. But now that, you know, I've done it, I'm very proud that I could do it because I continued his legacy, you know, going into the Marines. Because Marines is definitely a small organization. It's very close-knit, you know, and I'm glad I could be a part of that now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I've got a Marine that works for me. Tristan is a great kid. Everybody's a kid to me nowadays, unfortunately, but he's a great kid, and he's a Marine, and
really?
has been through some stuff, and he's awesome. You know, growing up though, whenever I was in high school and about to get out, you know, I'd looked at some different options. My family, my brother, my father, my grandfather, so on and so forth, had been in the Army, and my grandfather on my dad's side was Merchant Marine, but I actually looked at Air Force. I wanted to be a PJ. You know, I backed out of it and
I've worked with
and
those
did
guys.
something else, but
They're impressive people.
but I wanted to do something more. And then, you know, my nephew's in the Navy. He's doing well, doing good, and kind of scares me. You know, I've got 2 boys myself. One, he works downtown in Houston in one of the big buildings down there, doing well, doing good for himself. I'm so proud of him. My youngest one is about to graduate college, and there's still a strong chance that he'll join one of the military branches. He's very much I mean, he's an awesome kid. He has alopecia, so that's something that most people don't know about. Alopecia is a immune system issue where basically it tells your white blood cells that, hey, your hair follicles are bad. Makes all of his hair fall out. Bless his heart, he's dealt with that, and he's, you know, my hero on that for what he's went through. But he's very big on training. You know, he's kind of like you. He's not quite as big as you are. You're a little Hulk there. I mean, you're like mini Hulk, but you're awesome. And my son is getting that way, right? So he does weight training and different training. He's a trainer for Live Well over in Lufkin. It's a great place to work out if you haven't been there. But he would do ruck. He would put weights in his backpack and he would do ruck training, and he would go and run certain areas. And he got pulled over one day by the Marine recruiter, or he was running, and Marine recruiter pulled over and asked him if he needed help. And, hey, are you okay? You need help? She thought he was either a veteran or a current, you know, service member, and he explained it to her, and he ended up going and working out with them, with some of the new recruits and stuff. And he said, my goal was to try to make her throw up. And he said he almost did it. So he is very driven on trying to, you know, bless his heart. He actually looks up different training regimens for the different organizations, different groups, you know, that are enlisted, and trying to make sure that he's prepared for it.
So he's actually thinking about going.
So
It's a strong possibility.
He is. He wants to graduate, get his degree first, and then which he'll get his degree this fall, and then we're gonna, you know, I'm you know, I can see him joining up.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he'll go, but you know, whoever he goes to will get a great enlistee. So.
Oh, that's good. Or go the officer route. You know, maybe commission.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's very much so on that. He's a different type of individual where, and I know Johnny's met him, but he's not a very social person. And so whatever he does, I think is going to be very individualized or
He's going to intelligence.
You know, something that's going to be a little next level type thing.
He needs to go to intelligence.
Most likely. That would be my guess as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm happy for him. I want him to do what he wants to do, but I'm also scared to death. With, you know.
As any parent would be. Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see how.
I know.
It goes.
That's why I hope I have girls. Because I ain't got to worry about none of it.
I don't know, man. You know, I had I call her my niece. She was actually my uncle's daughter, but she's my niece, and she was a beautiful little girl that, you know, grew up to be a beautiful woman. And I was her godfather, and you know, bless her heart, Ashley's awesome. But I was, you know, hoping that I would never have to fulfill those godfather duties, because, wow, you know, I don't know that I can handle. I mean, Johnny's dealt with it. He's done.
I didn't have to worry about it because my wife said, if you won't make it to the military, I will kill you before you go. So I didn't have any. If I had boys as well, they wouldn't. She wouldn't let them go. She almost had to watch me go, but it didn't work out either. So,
She'd have been pissed.
Well, I only have to worry about, you know, one little boy versus thousands of little boys.
Oh yeah, I know.
Have to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got my 2 boys, and I worry about what they do. but I don't have to worry about all those other little boys messing with my girls. So,
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's very true.
yeah. But I know that I missed a blessing with not having girls, but I'm proud of my boys, and you know,
Maybe have granddaughters.
yeah, maybe I'll have a granddaughter one day. And then, yeah, they don't want to, you know, granddad owns a gun store. I don't think he would want. Okay, guys, we just finished a drawing recently, a raffle, I guess you could say, that we did for the VFW. We have a new raffle going on, and what we're going to do is, if you noticed here on the table, we have a couple of firearms, and one of these is this Sabati that Johnny just grabbed. This is a Sabati 470 Nitro Express, right? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Sabati, that is a company, let's just think, if you want to, doesn't matter if you want to shoot whitetail or whatever, that's fine. But if you want to take down an elephant, this is the gun that you need.
Or Sasquatch.
It's a 470 Nitro Express. So it looks like a 410 if you were to look at it from the end, but it's actually a rifle, right? It shoots a rifle cartridge of 470 Nitro Express. It is a double barrel side-by-side rifle. So it's commonly known as an African gun, something that you can take down any big game with, but you can do just about anything with it, right? So that is.
There's some big hogs in East Texas we might want to try out.
Yeah, you want that big hog? You
Yeah.
take that big hog down. Yeah,
Exactly.
It'll definitely do the job. It'll roll him up. So that is gun number one. So right. So the point of this is you're going to get to choose. Right. So you get your choice. Right. So the winner gets choice of that 470 Nitro Express. Or the other gun that we have here, some of you may recognize it, but this unit is a Desert Eagle that's made by Magnum Research. And what's special about that, right? It's what makes it the quality of what you get with the Sabati there. This is a number 5 of 25, right? So there's only 25 of these guns that were done this way. Everything that you see, and we'll do some videos on it in the future where you can get really up close to it, but this is number 5 of 25.
2 in Texas.
So there was only 25 of these made, only 2 of them sent to Texas, and we got one of them. So we're very proud to have this. The hand inlaying and the engraving on it's beautiful. It's a case hardened finish on it as well. So there's a lot of work that went into it, as well as the gold plating and such. That you don't see in most firearms. So, and it is a 50 Action Express, so 50 AE caliber. So it's a 50 caliber handgun, right? So that's a big freaking bullet. But the weight of the gun, yes, it's a little heavier, but it makes it more manageable. So it is such a nice, beautiful piece. Does come with a rubber grip as well, but it's one of those things that it's something that you can pass down from generation to generation, both of these firearms. So the cool thing about it is you get your choice, right? So it's not just the point of, hey, I've got to have this one or I've got to have that one. You get to pick whichever one you want. So we're giving you the option there. So we're going to do a raffle on this. We're only going to sell 200 tickets, right? So we're doing $50 a chance, but only 200 tickets. So odds are pretty good on that. So it gives you decent odds on a firearm that normally you would never buy. I mean, that most people would never buy. But it's an awesome piece and something that it's a once-in-a-lifetime buy. Because they're not making any more of these. There was only 5 of them. Most of them
25.
are gone. You can't find them online anywhere. So the thing about the Sabati, whether you go on an African hunt or not, it's a piece that you can take down anything with. And something that you could be proud to have in your gun case, so in your gun safe. But we wanted to do something for the public to give them the opportunity to have something that they wouldn't have otherwise. So for $50 a chance, so for just $50, you get an opportunity to win one of these 2 guns. And remember, it's only 200 chances. So we will be having those chances at East Texas
Sportsman's Club
banquet on July the 8th. We'll have them there, and it is and
at the
awesome
store.
piece. We'll have them at the store as well. So come by us at 907 South John Redditt. is where our store is located. They're in Lufkin, and we're super easy to find, just straight. It's kind of right across catty corner from the post office, and real easy to find. We're next to TSO and the Wishing Well. So we'll be glad to take care of you there, but we've got this as a beautiful piece. Either one of them, when you come in and see the engraving on them, you'll be amazed because they're just beautiful firearms. So
If you win it for $50, you can sell it. I mean, you don't have to keep it. You don't have to hand it down. I mean, it's an investment. It's a 50 Action Express pistol and a 470 Nitro Express rifle. So,
yeah.
Yep.
So 50 AE and 470 Nitro Express. So
and the guys here at Nacogdoches Cigar Company probably could steer you in the right direction as well. We'll probably put some tickets over here as well with these guys. We want to say thanks to Nacogdoches Cigar Company for hosting us here. It was very gracious of those guys. Come by and check them out. They're right downtown Nacogdoches. They've got a huge selection of cigars. Memberships available, I believe, in the back still that you can come hang out back here and smoke cigars. They do some whiskey tastings from time to time, really unique whiskey tastings as well that you get to partake in if you are a member here. So come check them out.
Yeah, we truly appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please make sure that you like and share the page. Share our channel. We're going to hopefully grow this in the future and do a lot more with it. So with you guys liking and sharing it will help us and help us grow and do more. Also send us your suggestions on future podcasts and what we can do, what you want to know about, and we'll be glad to address that and see what we can do in the future. But we truly appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for Gunner for coming in and chatting with us and helping us with our first podcast and getting it going.
Yep, for sure. The last thing we forgot, in the future you see a couple small rifles, I will say, pistols they call them, one here and one in the back. We are going to do some detailed reviews on those in the future.
I want this.
So,
so that's something to come as well, where you'll be able to find these podcasts and some different things that we're doing in the future on there and making it easier to get to. So, but be sure to support us on our hats and shirts, and we ship anywhere as well, guys. So we can take care of you anywhere across the country. So,
guns as well, local FFL of yours. So
yes, we do transfers and ship them out wherever we need to go. So
exactly, we appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.